Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is come to import images from device. The file, import images from device, and it's picking up on this Canon printer, and this is the overview scan, and the resolution. Make sure that you're using 600 dpi, and I'm creating with my mouse, I'm creating this section box. I'm going to scan to my desktop, and I'm scanning that. I'm working with a traditional ink pen. It's a Sharpie pen. It's a fine point Sharpie pen. Okay, so now that it's scanned in, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the background. So I'm going to take this with the mouse and bring it down here, and that box with the multiply. So I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to create a layer in between these two, and it's basically going to be a white layer. I'm making sure everything is on 0 on the CMYK, and edit fill, and I'm going to fill that in. All right. So now I'm going to go to the background copy, and I click on the background copy, and I'm going to image, adjust, brightness, contrast. I'm going to take the brightness and I'm going to bump it up to say 20 and hit OK. Then in the same background copy, I'm going to go select color range, take that dropper and draw and click with the mouse. I'm clicking into the white space, and I hit OK. It's going to capture all that. And in order to get it a little bit cleaner, I'm going to go to select similar, and on that drop down menu, select similar, and I hit similar. And once that's selected, I push delete on my keyboard, delete on the keyboard. And then I do Command D on my keyboard to deselect. Command D. And what that has done, in essence, it's given me a transparent layer of just the ink line itself. So if I turn the white layer off and I turn the bottom layer off, you can see that this is a transparent of the ink line, but it's not dark enough. So what I have to do is, if you look at this, you can see that this is kind of grayish. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to turn on multiply instead of normal. So I'm going to go up here to the it's going to make my line multiply, which means you can see you'll see what it does. So if I copy that layer, it makes it a little bit darker, but I'm going to do it 3 more times, and basically I'm going to have 4 layers. And what that does is it creates a really rich black. That creates a rich black on that line, and then I'm going to Command E, which Command E on my keyboard will drop that layer down and sandwich it into one layer. So now I've got that same line, and it's very, very rich and black. It's not gray anymore. It's very rich and black. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take the eraser tool, and I'm going to clean up the areas that I need to clean up that I've overshot. So when I'm working on an ink drawing, I do not try to get it perfect, because I know that I have this option within Photoshop to clean up. And I just clean up everything that I overshot on. We hit File, Save, and we'll just do this as a house test, house tutorial. I'm saving it on the desktop as a Photoshop file, PSD. Okay, now I'm still cleaning up, and it's very important that, you know, when I'm working on the illustration, that I'm consistent with my line quality and the width of the line. So because I'm using the same ink pen, you can see here I used a different ink pen, and this is very thick, and this is thin, and this line here is the same as this same ink pen. But what you want to do is, within your illustration, you want to make sure that your line weight is consistent. And I did this thick line to show you, exaggerate the significance of what it would look like if I didn't have the same consistency of line. We don't want that. We want to keep things consistent. All right, so I've come in here to show you how to use the eraser tool to clean up areas that I overshot. And in order to line up the audio with the audio with the video, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw a pink dot, and I'm starting to draw right now. And I made a circle, and I end the circle, make a second pink dot, and end that circle. Okay, that's going to help me line up the audio to go with the video. All right, so when I look at this, I can see areas that I've drawn through. Like I drew through here where the house went through the bush, and I messed up here on the door and here on the stairs, and I can go in here and clean it up. Now, some people ask me why I lock my layers. I lock the layer in order to not disturb it while I'm working. I only unlock the layer that I am working on. That way everything else is not moved, it's not disturbed, and I can get the work done only on the layer that I'm working on. And this is where the black line is, and I want to erase out. And I want to clean it up. Now, also, if something is too thin or if a line is not touching, I come in here, and right now I'm creating a rich black in the color box, a rich black, which means not just black, but I've got 30% on the cyan, 30% on the cyan, 100% on the black, and I'm going to use this classic cartoonist Kyle's ink box, and I usually put it on like 23. It matches the same, about the same width, and you can see, like, if I want to connect the line, which I just did, that's what I use in order to get that to match my traditional ink line that I did outside and scanned in. All right, so I appreciate your patience. I know this is like watching grass grow, but I'm trying to make this tutorial for Alicia and any future apprentices that are trying to learn my technique. so they can duplicate my technique in order to be part of our studio, to catch overflow work. Like if I'm too busy and I've got enough work and a job comes in, I can pass along extra work to apprentices that are in our studio, and they can earn money doing work, overflow work that I can't accept on my calendar, but I can pass on to other illustrators in our studio, and then I would just like be the managing art director, in addition to the art director that we have for the project. I would be the internal art director, creative director. Okay. All right. So a lot of times what I do is, in order to clean this up and see all these other things that the scanner picked up, I usually just take this lasso tool to go around all the shapes and connect that, and then I go select inverse, and then I erase everything on the outside. So I hit delete on my keyboard, and that erases everything else. Select inverse. No, select. Let's see what happened here. File, save. Select color range. Okay, so I'm gonna hit select color range. I'm gonna select that white, hit OK. I'm gonna hit delete on my keyboard. That cleans everything up. There's no. All right. Finishing up, cleaning up some of the overshot areas. Okay. Now, if I want to move something around, like I'm not happy with where this is, I want to move it down here. Lasso tool. Select it with the lasso tool. Edit, cut, edit, paste. And then I have that on layer, and then I can take this tool up here, I don't even know what it's called, but you can move things around with that. And I can put it anywhere I want. And that's what I do frequently when I'm building especially a more complicated illustration. I'm always picking up and moving stuff around. I'm gonna put this one right here next to that. All right. And let's see what I've got. All right, so right now I'm going to take that layer 3 and I'm going to sandwich it down with Command E. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use that crop tool. I'm going to crop it where it looks right. I'm taking up. So I've cropped the image. All right, so now what we're going to do is, the next step is important, is we're going to create the shapes that go behind these for the color. So we've got the black and white ready, and now we're going to come in and do the color. Select color range, click on the white, hit OK. And I'm going to come in here and select modify, expand, 2 pixels, hit OK, create a new layer. And that new layer, I'm going to just use pink, and I'm going to hit edit fill, hit OK. And that creates the shapes underneath it. And I can now use the dropper, the paint bucket tool, and pick any color I want and start adding colors in there that I like. And then a lot of times when I'm doing spot illustrations, I like to clear what's around there. So I'm going to use this magic wand tool, select that's on the outside, and I hit delete, and that's gone. And so now I've got the black line. The black line also, notice that this is multiplied. That's important. The black line, and then the color. And so then I just come in here and I just choose the colors that I want to work with, and I use that dropper tool. Let's just pick a green, and I'm on that layer 2. Use the paint bucket tool. I like that green. Let's do a green roof. We'll do a little greenhouse over here. All right, so you get the idea. You can continue finishing. Also, get a red. And off-white. All right, let's call that. All right, so this gives you an idea. I really like the way that feels. It's loose. It's fun. It's not expected. Kind of fun. All right, that's the tutorial. You basically have all the items on one layer and the color on the next layer. 600 DPI, and you got to keep in mind that you want the line weight the same. This is the odd man out. This would not work in the illustration because it's too thick, and you got to make sure that your line work is the same. So let me go so far as to say, let's say I want to make this smaller. All right, let's erase the color so it won't confuse things. All right, edit, cut, edit, cut the line, cut, and paste. And now it's on its own line. And I'm moving that up. And say I want to make it smaller. See, now this is not going to work, because just like this didn't fit because it was too thick, this is not going to fit because it's too thin. So what we have to do is, if you really want something like this, you have to print this out and trace this. Like if I wanted a house to look like this next to that one, I would print this out on a piece of paper, and I would take it to my light table and I would redraw it with this pen over here. But I can't use this because it's too thin. And that's what happened with your donut that I was telling you about. You did it and it was too thin. It didn't match this line weight. So anyway, all right, let's see if I can get this written up too, so we have something you can follow along. All right, end of the tutorial. Save. All right, let's hit stop.